At this time, I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Ruben Reed.
Students, parents, fellow teachers, support staff, Principal Graham, district representatives, good morning. Thank you for being here today. My name is Ruben Reed, and I've had the great honor of being a part of the teaching team that has had these students for the last 2 years. Mr. Diaz is for the last 3 years. Last year, Mrs. Bustamante thanked her campaign manager for getting her elected to last year's teacher speaker. Well, this year, I want to thank Mrs. Bustamante's anti-campaign manager for ensuring that she wouldn't be chosen for a second year in a row. And as far as I know, I think that's Cambria Jones, so Cambria, thank you. It does bring great joy to my heart, 8th graders, that you have allowed me to share one last thought with you. Epic heroes. What is an epic hero? We've been studying epic heroes, right? Well, the very trusted and reliable Wikipedia says, a hero generally participates in a cyclical journey or a quest, faces adversaries that tries to defeat him in his journey, and returns home significantly transformed by the journey. Well, many of these epic heroes are grounded in history, and when it comes to epic heroes, I'm sure that we can all begin to think of a few that were extraordinary. From the dawn of time in literature, we've been looking to heroes for inspiration. Here's a few of them. The Sumerian king Gilgamesh, who traveled the Cedar Mountains and battled the great guardian beast Humbaba, and later the infamous bull of heaven that belonged to the goddess Ishtar. Gilgamesh then, after the death of his wild man BFF Enkidu, went on an epic quest for none other than immortality. Or how about the shepherd boy named David, who killed lions and bears to protect his flock of sheep? Killed a giant hoplite Phoenician warrior by the name of Goliath. Became a king whose country's reputation spread throughout the area. And there's Heracles, or more commonly known to many of us as Hercules. He went on his journey of 12 labors, killed a bunch of ferocious beasts like the Nymphian lion, 9-headed Lernaean hydra, captured such others as the Erymanthian boar, the Cretan bull, the 3-headed guard dog of the underworld, Cerberus. And there's Theseus, who killed the Minotaur in the labyrinth of Crete and saved Athenian youths from sacrifice. Oh yeah, and he got a girlfriend out of it too. There's Perseus, and I'm sure you've seen the movie, either the classic, original, or the horrible remake, but he killed the snake-headed Medusa, saved the beautiful Andromeda from a sea beast. And there's Jason and the Argonauts, and there's the heroes of the Trojan War, Achilles, leader of the Myrmidons, and Hector, valiant defender of Troy. Their fighting prowess was known throughout the realms. And Odysseus, who made the wooden horse, killed a Cyclops, spent a decade sailing home to his wife. That's devotion, right? And of course, Beowulf, one of my favorites. After killing the monstrous Grendel with his bare hands and his terrifying mothers, because sometimes mothers can be very terrifying, right? He returned to save a kingdom, and as king, he died in a great battle against a ferocious dragon terrorizing the countryside. Epic heroes, they live on in our memories and our literature. But what motivated them to do these epic deeds? From the examples, many of them performed their deeds for the betterment of a friend, a family, a people group, or a country. You see, I believe that these epic heroes, they live on today. They're all around us. They live on in you and in you. As you look around here today, there are many here that you have inspired with your talent and your dedication. As for your teachers, you've inspired them to work their hardest to bring you their best lesson plans in order that you might learn something and that they wouldn't let you down. As for your parents, you've inspired them to work hard in order to support you, raise you, be the best role models they could possibly be, and so they also wouldn't let you down. As for your peers, you've inspired each other to strive for excellence in academic and athletic competition, in compassion, in integrity, and in grace. As for your younger siblings, some of them are sitting right here watching you today. They're growing up on the other side of the campus where you used to be. You have inspired them to reach or even try to surpass the high bar and standard that you have set. From the eloquence, poise, and grace of Sarah Ritter, girl, you better give me props on your first book, to the stage presence and infectious charismas of Bella, Tiana, and Carmen, to the strange fascination with duct tape of Dakota Keller. Don't give me any credit for that, all right? Where you at? Don't give me credit for that. To the strange and morbid stories of Jacobs and Chain. They're gonna make movies out of that stuff. To the athletic prowess of Carly and Riley and Jasmine and Caden and Daniel and Ryan S. Kim and Anthony. To Brooke, whose Fever is rivaled only by Laura Bay. To Cambria Jones, whose tenacity on and off the court have ever put the odds in her favor. And I did finish Catching Fire last week, so give me a break. And who can miss her BFF, Kylie Finnegan, whose enthusiasm for life, perpetual smile, and ever hopeful outlook is an inspiration to us all. To Dieter, who had an entire day of the week devoted to him, and Blue Jacket Wednesday. And I understand your jacket's here to watch you promote today. To Eugene, who just may rule the world, form her own currency, government, and language called Eugenese as she controls the monster of society. To Guy, whose technological expertise was invaluable to Mrs. Bustamante, and his twin, separated at birth, Ethan, with whom he'd always debate religion and politics and vampires or whatever. Out of all here who willingly die for a friend, it'd likely be you two. To Chantel and her crazy faces that always elicited laughs and made us wonder what planet she was from. Mrs. Budamante will always miss her favorite Frenchie. To Theo Richards, who knows every word of every song and has the moves to back it up. To Brandon Ganella, who always had a question to ask, and he most likely already knew the answer to it too. To Nash, who had the coolest hair any middle schooler could ever hope for. Just got a lot of body to it. And Salman, whose smile never disappeared. Love it, man, love it. To Cameron, whose rock star pose ever reflected his coolness and shredding ability in and out of the classroom. To Jonathan Kim, who always knows the right thing to say, who will know the right thing to say after an argument for his future wife. I'm sorry. And the twins, Celeste and Stephen, who have nothing but good things to say about each other. I'm blown away by how much siblings can love each other. To the triplets, Michelle, Richard, and Susan, whose rivalry no less shows any less devotion to each other. To Eduardo Alcaraz and Caitlin Hopkins, whose passions for engineering and astronomy will take them to new worlds. To Julie Hahn, whose skills with strings has the power to pull out our deepest emotions. And Anna and Suzanne and Brisa and Phoebe and Christy and Hunter and Zane and Brendan and Lisa and Wes, and I could go on, but I'm running out of time and Mr. Diaz is running out of tissues. You are the epic heroes of today. You do and you will inspire those around you. You will battle the demons and conquer the monsters of today and tomorrow. You will fight ignorance in our world because it's there. Because it's there, you will fight injustice in our world. You will fight diseases in our world. Because it's there, you will fight poverty in our world, inequality, hatred, and prejudice. And to face the challenges of today and solve the problems of tomorrow, you, as epic heroes, will innovate, create, adapt, challenge, analyze, synthesize, compose, relate, critique, identify, illustrate, recommend, invent, organize, infer, prioritize, distinguish, apply, defend, compare, survey, interpret with all of your cognitive, spiritual, and emotional powers. But there's one last thing I want you to remember. See, some epic heroes always thought too much of themselves. And that was sometimes their downfall. But you must temper yourself with humility. Archbishop William Temple, 1881 to 1941, once said that humility does not mean thinking less of yourself than of other people. Nor does it mean having a low opinion of your own gifts. It means freedom from thinking of yourself at all. See, what I didn't mention about those heroes was when you read their full stories, sometimes they had things that haunted them. Some, if not most, may have seemed to lack a common ingredient. In their glorious quests, sometimes they forgot the purpose of the quests and sought their own glory. So instead of focusing only on the betterment of a friend, a family member, a people group, or a country, sometimes they focused on the betterment of self. An ancient passage reminds us to do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others as better than yourselves. Each of you should look not to your own interests alone, but also to the interests of others. Those epic heroes who tempered themselves with humility sidestepped some of the problems and catastrophes that those who lacked humility faced. So, in your epic quests, I want you to work hard, play hard, pray hard, be nice, well, better yet, be genuine. Did I say read hard? Read. Extend a hand, lift each other up, be humble, slay your dragons, capture your three-headed guard dogs, inspire, and be epic. Be epic. Thank you.